All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the West South County School Board to order. Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Carr. Here. Mr. Burns.
Here.
Mr. Becker.
Here.
Ms. Kaiser.
Here.
Mr. Heller.
Here.
Ms. Steele.
Here.
Mr. Sikich.
Present.
Ms. Lee.
Here.
President Lee.
Here. All right, so we have a workshop this evening, and so I'll turn right over to Edmund to go through what we're gonna have for today's meeting.
All right, so let's kick us off with a tour. We thought we'd do an update kind of on Lane, and then Steve and I are gonna walk through some of the pictures leading up to the eventual tour. The idea of like, let's see where we started, where we went, and then Steve and Luke, Steve just goes behind us, will lead us on a tour of the building, exterior and interior. So, go over, Shelley.
All right, well, thank you. Hello, everyone. Wanted to just give you a little bit of an update as where we're at, because construction, although it may not look like it externally too much, it has started and we're making really good progress. And timeline is moving internally. And Luke is here. He'll touch a little bit when we get to there about the external, why maybe we haven't seen the demolition happening today. So first, as you see, I'm just gonna review phase one, because that's where we're at right now in terms of construction. We're really working hard to convert the building from looking like a school to looking like a rec center. So we don't want to totally lose the historical value of Lane, but we also don't want it to be where people are like, oh, this is just the old Lane kind of thing. Especially with the current rec center we have and the great positive feedback. We want to more so replicate that on the west side. Want to walk you through a little bit of what are we doing in this phase one? What is it all that's going to be happening? So this is the part we're keeping is all you're going to be seeing. And this is the first floor. So when you walk in, and I'll move us kind of from my left to right, and you can see that it'll be more the white highlighted areas, not the gray. So in the gym commons area entranceway, that'll have all new flooring, and you'll see we're using the rec department kind of coloring, but it's also ties in with the district's blue. So you'll see lots of blues and grays. So the first floor is going to have all new flooring, paint. So all the Lane kind of graphics that were up there will be gone, and we'll be painting all the hallways. Bathrooms on the far left, you can see down in the bottom corner, and then on the far right in the upper corner, what were existing restrooms, those are totally gutted, and we'll get all new sinks, partitions, all the whole works, flooring, ceilings, and those are really going to look kind of probably comparable to the ones at the current rec center. So that's what you're seeing down. So not when you walk in, probably when and if you get over there, you're not going to notice a whole lot this phase on the first floor. The second floor, and I'll show you some pictures in a little bit, is where the majority of all the work is happening. So up on the second floor, bottom left-hand corner, that room will be our spin room. So it was over at the rec center, and it's moved. It's currently over at Madison, but we will have our spin classes that will be located there. The next two rooms you'll see, those were originally 4 classrooms. Now we have 2 large multi-purpose rooms. Again, kind of replicating some of the spaces we've had at the rec, but multi-purpose. And when I say that, it's a lot of different things can happen in those spaces. So one of them will have sort of a rubberized athletic flooring, so it looks like wood, but it has a lot more kind of cushion give. And the other one will have just the like laminate vinyl tile. But so again, can be a meeting room by day, an exercise class by night, or another class. Then moving down in that bottom right hand corner, those are going to be our parent and child, or our early childhood classes. We've converted the science labs, so we look completely different. But those classes have moved. It's kind of like our preschool. It's moved and moved and moved. They're currently at Madison, but now they'll have their kind of hopefully forever home here at this facility. And they're again
dimensions of them. Give dimensions.
You got 'em?
Yeah, I brought my iPad in case anybody did have any specific questions, so, is there a room specifically you want?
The two early childhood.
The parent-child ones, yeah, I
Yeah.
can look those up if Shelley, if you kinda wanna keep on
Yep.
going with.
I think nice windows.
Yeah, well, yeah, you'll see, you'll see what we've done there. But the cool thing about the early childhood rooms is they're connected by what was the science storage room. So one end, the smaller portion that you see down in the bottom corner, that'll be more for, like classes that focus more on literacy, or art, some of the fine motor skills, and then the bigger space is more for like large motor skill, right? So a lot of times we have mats out and equipment out, that'll be nice. Been out, not have to up and down all the time. And then the teachers that share supplies, whether it's, I don't know, bean bags, scarves, that kind of thing, will all be housed in that space. Aaron gave a little preview, but
I didn't know it was in here.
It's
Sorry.
in, yeah.
Missed that part, yeah.
we've been able to, and CG Street again has been great to work with in terms of like helping us with the budget and that, create some, what they refer to as borrowed light. So, I've got some pictures that I'll show you guys in the large multi-purpose rooms. There's now windows out, so like, we had to keep a lot of the structure and it's cement block walls. Not the most exciting, or, you know, inviting, and now with those, the light that it brings in from the hallway, and once you see the hallway without lockers, I was kind, you know, it's hard to imagine when you're walking down and you see the lockers, you're like, what? Like, whoa, this hall is huge. You know, it's big. It's nice. It's nice space for people moving in and out. And now having those lights as well. Across, so next to the big giant gray square, that's the gym. And I don't know, I hope if I can,
I was gonna
well,
help there, but I
yeah.
wasn't sure.
This is what will be the new boardroom. So here, so as I'm coming down the hall, there'll be a conference room. That can be used like for board meetings, workshops, our admin team during the day. There's a doorway that comes in off the hall. Then there's gonna be two entrances to the boardroom, one here with board, and you'll get a little bit better idea when I show you some of the pictures. We have kind of a waiting area or the eating area that's gonna have a nice little kitchenette in it. But then there's also a private conference room back here that'll be able to fit the whole entire board. So if there's ever a time or it's closed session, you know, we need a space during expulsion hearing for different groups to go, that space is there. And then this is where all the IT and tech will be located. That was the original space, was nice. We were able to build out and build around there. But we have some safety measures. We recently met with the district safety team and then followed it up with meeting with district's IT team to kind of make sure all the pieces are working together in terms of a safety plan if needed. And how we'll talk through that. So the two ways, obviously, you guys, to get, if someone comes in, there's a stairwell over here, they can get down to the boardroom, or most often and most likely, because we will have staff there, people will be directed to go down first floor, down the hallway, and then up the steps or use the elevator.
So where the original office door was, you'd be
That'll still be, yep. So down the hallway,
down the hallway.
up the steps, or down the hallway, up the elevator, and then they get right off. We plan to only use this room for board, or this door for board members, and kind of send people down this way, because otherwise, they'll just be, you know, people sitting there.
It would be a
Yeah.
good reader, so that like Shelley mentioned, it's planned south, but it's the west entrance that'll be, that won't have a card reader on it. That way if somebody's running late, they're not trying to enter right where the board is, so.
So we're gonna,
Just a couple of things logistically about that room. There was a concern when I viewed it, who's ever sitting right here, your back is basically to a door.
Yeah.
And so I thought it would be a better idea to have card readers in addition to this room, this door right here that heads into the conference room. So is that the conference room or that the break room right there?
This one's the break room.
It goes into the break room.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be, I mean, you know, I know nobody wants their back to a door, first of all, but nobody will be able to get in there. I don't know. Let's have a card reader.
Then again, obviously you can see hallways all repainted and redone, and then this will be brand new restrooms as well. Questions on kind of just general floor plan?
All the safety stuff I was thinking about, we got covered.
Yep. And you'll see, the hard thing is, the pictures I'm gonna show you, I don't wanna say aren't the greatest, but there's a lot of construction going on and things happening, and last thing I wanna do is impede that, so kind of did the best I could. So here is an example of, I'm using my construction terms I've learned, borrowed light. I call it windows cut in the wall. Layman's term, right? But that's now a view from the hallway, looking into what we're just calling multipurpose room A. So it just really helps open up that space and just brighten it up.
Now, will those windows be, you can see both ways in and out? Okay.
Kind of like at the rec center now, when you can see into Doro or you can see in Dance Fitness, we'll have the shades on, so if people needed
Okay.
privacy, they could, but it's also nice to be able to see in and out when needed. Here, this is if I'm like standing kind of down, if you can remember the floor plan in that corner where our early childhood classes are gonna be. Looking down the hallway, and that whole wall underneath the clock used to be all lockers. Yeah. So those are all gone, and eventually, we're working on, we're kind of figuring out budget wise and what it will look like, but down here, there's also gonna be some of those borrowed lights, some windows cut, but that'll look then down into the gym, or if you're in the gym, you'll be able to kind of see out, you know, so if I'm up here, I can,
Awesome.
yeah, stand up here and see what's going on down there.
He's shaking his head.
You gonna do it, make it happen? Lou?
There's two options out there right now. Option 2 is kind of a better option. It's 4 windows, a little bit wider. And then otherwise the previous windows that Shelley showed, and you can see them right here. They would mimic that design and look in. So there's kind of 2 pricing exercises we're doing right now. And then, but I agree that option 2 is kind of the better option. Centers it on the gym. They're a little bit wider, a little bit more, structural involvement because we got to put lintels in. The bar joists actually bear on the wall that has the clock on it. So, yeah, but yeah, we're one way or another, we're gonna find them to fit them in. So,
But when we kind of asked for the architects and one plan that Luke's reference that we're leaning towards, it frames the windows right above, and like when you look at it, you're like, where am I kind of in the building? But if you're standing down in the gym commons, where like facing the gym doors, the windows will be right above you, and then the windows will be kind of framed right over the doors. Then here's just an example. It was the former science, one of the former science labs. That'll be our parent and child. And there used to be 2 doors because it was 2 classrooms. So the wall dividing the 2 classrooms came out, and instead of just framing up the doorway, they're adding another borrowed light in a window that, for, you know, looking in and out. Just another view inside the room, so you can see nice big space. And there's a lot of things that we were able to keep and preserve, cabinetry, counters, things like that staff will use. So here's a door cut. I know that's like probably not real exciting. It's a door cut, right? It's really cool to see what was former classrooms. This is looking from the hallway into the first administrative conference room. And here's the boardroom.
No borrowed light in the boardroom.
No brown line of boardroom, but
Yeah, but yeah, big fan.
yeah. I mean, part of that is that the space and how we did like the spacing, like what would give you, so if you can picture Lane's 2nd floor, I don't quite honestly know what Lane had formerly used it for, but I know when Heritage Christian was there, that was like a whole nother set of offices. Now if that was like student services, a list of, you know, what was in that corner, but that created nice space to add things like that private conference room, the kind of space for, you know, a service area to, you know, put food out. There'll be a little kitchenette. But we have to be careful, right, of like load bearing walls and things like that. And also wanted to keep in mind safety. So here I'm standing at the front, what would be the boardroom, looking toward the back. Now I've moved, I'm in the back of the room, looking toward the front. And again, like I said, the day I went, there was a lot of work going on, so it's kind of hard, and I didn't want to get in their way or things like that, but, you'll see that the doorway on the left there, that actually goes into the tech room. So the
Okay.
plan for safety is, if you guys need to evacuate from up in the front, you go into there, and then you don't get trapped in there. We've cut out a door, then that takes you into that back conference room. So there would be a way to access out, but where people can't access in.
And then from the back conference room, we can get out to the stairway.
Correct.
That's correct.
Mhm. That's the last picture. Oh, no, and here's the restroom. So like if people add, I know people are like, hey, can we use Lane? Can we use Lane? It's like, right now, not yet. The only restrooms available right now are the ones in the locker rooms. But kind of the challenge, so like, people like, oh, can we go in there? Hey, it's a really big space to manage and clean and all that, just for those restrooms. But the other bigger issue is, there's only one point of egress out of them right now. You know, and in that space, you gotta have 2 points, given the size of it. And because of all the construction going on in different areas, it's blocked off. So right now, kind of lane is not usable until it can get, you know, the restrooms up.
Do we land on as far as how high the ceilings are gonna be?
We're gonna at least have that 6-inch reveal without, I mean, you can kind of see that this black pipe, this is the main for the sprinkler coming across. We're gonna try to reveal as much as possible without having to add additional heads that affect the spray path. Because there's a code where once you get higher up in that recessed ceiling, when the spray heads, or when the sprinkler heads activate, which are these guys right here, it can't affect the spray path. But we are gonna try to get that, for sure 6, maybe we can get 7, 8. So, and then what Dr. Robinson is revealing to is we have perimeter soffit just to try to dress up the boardroom, very similar to what's here. This is like a 1.5 to 2-inch reveal. This will be a little bit more like a 6-inch reveal.
And we're trying to go as high as we can to make the room look big. Yeah, so that was the whole idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Retractable.
Make it look
Like the
big.
garage of the restaurants?
Yes.
And then Aaron, correct me if I'm wrong, there'll be a screen comparable to what we have here. Front of the room, back of the room, and then also on the sides.
Yeah, so if you're sitting in the middle facing the whole way, you'll be able to see one kind of both ways here, and one behind you for the community. And then if you're sitting on like this side of the U, there'll be one right there, where Brian's at, right here. We're trying to take into account what everyone in the room can like access and see much easier than it currently exists, because I think it's hard for people to turn, and the screens are up high, and there's slices. We're trying to think they'll all be this size, they'll be lining up for 75 or 85, so.
I just have a quick question, and it kind of pertains to this building as well. So I've been in here a few times and I've noticed that, all the hallways, they look very similar. And it's very kind of confusing, you know how like, so will you have, you're talking about blues and grays throughout and everything. Will you have signage? Will you have different color areas? You know, like hospitals literally have like
Lines on the
something.
floor.
I'm serious, like I
Or
still, I'm
more
like,
student
Sarah,
art,
which
student
way
art.
do I go? You know, all looks the same to me. And I feel like, you know, while you're doing this, maybe you could put in something that makes it, I don't know, looks a little different or.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've been, or what, last time you've been at rec center, we've put up directional signage.
Okay,
That'll say like, so when you walk in that main entrance, it's kind of on our back wall.
Yeah.
You know, room 93, now that we have the addition, room 93, 97, this way. Restrooms, straight ahead, rooms this,
okay,
this way. Then when you turn, there's another sign at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
Same thing, if you're looking for these rooms this way, and all the rooms are obviously, you know, we got the large numbers outside of them,
so
so.
do we have this in this building? Do we have that signage in this building? I didn't look, but I feel like,
Currently not,
ugh,
it's a good suggestion. I think the original thought, maybe Steve would know, but I think because it's not really open to the community,
oh.
that maybe is the reason, I'm not sure.
For the enrollment center. For state, you know.
So the enrollment center is the only place that the public
Yeah,
goes.
and they have a bathroom.
Oh,
you know,
okay, okay.
All right,
That's exactly.
Okay.
The other thing to note is similar to the rec center, which is, will be totally different, I think, for you guys, right? At a board meeting, you walk into the building right now, you get on the elevator and just, we'll have somebody always in our building. So we plan to, just like at the rec center, there's kind of, we have an evening, we call them a building supervisor, but they're really more there to brief people, direct people. Sometimes they even are checking people in for certain programs. They'll be there, at least for, I would imagine in the beginning, up until the meeting start, and then we'll always have custodial staff on site. So as long as something's going on, and even now, for example, after programs are done, they're there cleaning and doing things. So you're always gonna have staff in the building.
what are we calling it West Rec, or we call, what, but honestly, cause I think we have got to change the verbiage, like that was not Lane, it's now going to be the.
We've been just right as a team, as a department, because as we're starting to plan for things there, we've been calling it the Activity and Fitness Center. So it's like, well, is it the Rec Center West? Even when you look at our name in whole, West Dallas, West Milwaukee Recreation and Community Services Center,
Yeah.
mouthful.
Yeah.
How do we sort of shrink that up, but we don't want to lose.
Center.
What's that?
Lane Rec Center.
Keep it Lane?
Oh, everybody's gonna call it Lane if you're a West Dallas person.
Yeah, so we tried, it's like a little naming thing, and
The
we
Jeff
got
Sikich member.
Oh, I need to go to Lane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep saying Lane.
So we've just kind of been calling it the activity, because,
To the direction.
I'll share, so we've already started the planning and design for phase 2. Which will include the fitness center, so that's a whole different and unique piece to
Right.
this location versus our other location. So we wanted to incorporate that somehow, and it's well, so we just sort of called it activity. Right now, for right now, we're not landed there, but we have to refer to it as something that we really, like I said, want to try and get away from calling it Lane.
Have you thought about, having a community-wide naming, activity? Where we could come up with, the district could come up with 10 options or something like that, and then it could be something the community could help in naming it. Since, when you have something like this, it's kind of a rare opportunity where you're having a new building that doesn't have a name.
Right.
And so, I see what you're getting, I see what Jeff's saying, too, that people are gonna for Lane, but Lane for a while, right? After a while, it's not gonna be Lane anymore, because people won't remember it as that, they'll know it as whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
And so it may be an opportunity to get some more community engagement out of it if we wanted to go about it. And I'm not saying we have to do it right away, right? We can wait till it's all the way done, but something that could be thought about as we go through the process.
We tried doing something. I know Carolyn did a social media campaign, and we got 3 suggestions, all from one of my staff members, and then none of them, we kind of vetted them out as a staff, and everybody's like, there wasn't a one that anybody landed on, but yeah, we can,
We
You
can
know,
also
work
do,
through that.
if we had, I'm sure if we would, our minds, we could have a good campaign, we'd get some more suggestions. Or like Noah was saying, we could come up, if your staff comes up with, 10 or ones you've had suggested, and then
Yeah.
kind of put that out, so it's not, what's the top?
The Strasser Center.
No.
That is
No.
nice.
No, yeah. So, but want to touch base, because it's been brought up, it's been asked, what's going on, why is there no demo happening? So what we're waiting on is We Energies has to move, and glad Luke is here, because he can probably speak to it far more, articulately than I can, but it's basically, we gotta move the gas meter from the south end. We've met with We Energies, we've met with their subcontractor, we have a location for it. It was then that they needed to redraw the designs, get them to the city, get the city's approval, and then get it, We Energies comes, turns off the gas, then the contractor comes and relocates it into the meter. But part of that was, which none of us realized, the city of West Dallas will not allow you to block or impede any road during the fair. That kind of put a whole, stoppage on anything. So now that that's done, you know, Luke's been in communication with Energy saying where, you know, where are we at with this? Because we have they hired the subcontractor, he already, like, when we met, he
Commit to the
told us it
location,
would be,
yeah.
you know, a while. But once they turn it off and kind of decommission it, then the demo can start.
Because currently that gas service lives inside of the old building. A lot of times gas services nowadays are placed on the outside of the building, not an issue. Well, we can't tear down the building with a live gas service, so. As soon as they commit to this, we'll decommission the gas, and our mass demo sub is patiently waiting because they're itching to get going here. So we want to get started. We started this process back in April, so just,
Do we have a tentative date yet Luke, from them?
I pinged We Energies again this morning because I've been reminding them once a week. Right now, what I showed is kind of like a right after Labor Day start, because I can see it being a little bit for We Energies, and then we're planning on like a 12-week demolition of the building, and then we are also crushing the building on site. And then the basement with the center building, all that crushed aggregate will go into the hole. So we're lean, we're green, we're keeping the materials on site. I mean, steel will all get recycled. So, yeah, instead of exporting all the spoils and then importing more material, we're crushing on site. So I don't have a definitive answer, but we've, even at our original meeting with We Energies, I said, if you guys commit to a date, don't worry about us, we will get out of your way. So that's, we said, whatever we can do to get out of your way, you let us know, and we're ready to start, so.
And that's part of the other challenge with using Lane during this whole period is there's water, but there's no hot water. So, I mean, like, you know, we like to have that for, you know, restroom access and things like that, but, if it gets to the point where like we just need to start getting going with using, you know, we'll figure out, some things there, but that's also kind of part of what's factored into this.
So are we still on time for the demo regardless? Was this worked in that we were gonna have to wait 3 months before we could?
Yeah, I
get
mean,
gas
we're
meter
still
moved?
on time for completion of the interior and
Mhm.
being able to use it. We're actually, quite honestly, ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Where we thought like, right, we know we gotta have everything in and done by March, end of March,
End of March.
end of March.
Preferably.
We're on schedule to be done like end of December, early to mid-January. And so we kind of thought like, I like that idea because we thought we could maybe even practice. You know, kind of before we have to fully be out of 1205, that'll be nice to have the
Yeah.
space to kind of use and practice and, you know, it's like our current rec center, like you gotta get in space and use it to know how it really works and functions and right, like, is it gonna be perfect when we go in there? Probably not, like, oh, you know, we didn't necessarily maybe think of what, you know, some of the details or things like that. That'll allow us time to kind of course correct if need be, or, you know, I think even now at the rec center, we've 4 years ago till now, even things have changed in that, so, it'll be nice to have that little bit of kind of gap time before we have to be out fully in into the space. But so that's kind of, the other thing is, we will have, Luke's team is ready, we've got it all staked out, there will be time-lapse cameras that'll capture all that demo. We're not really capturing the interior, but we will capture, the exterior demo, which would be, I think, pretty cool for people to see.
And we're trying to like think ahead too. I know Luke and Shelley we're talking about like the design of the boardroom versus the actual furniture in the space, and you sit in there and you feel like I'm sitting next to you. It's like we're bringing tables in and laying it out. Like trying to go, well, this piece of furniture works, this one does not, like trying to be pretty specific, that way you don't get there and it's like, well, what happened? I don't know, I think that's pretty
Yeah, we're doing
smart
that
to do
tomorrow.
that, so.
Tomorrow afternoon, we have a meeting with, a local rep, bringing us some samples and some pieces to like, put them in, map them out, yeah, see how that works and flows. Then as I referenced, we've begun, planning and designing for phase 2 is underway. So we're working again with CG Schmidt and Growth Design Group. In phase 2 will be the fitness center, and that'll be brand new addition, built out to the south. in conversation, we have down on that first floor, right, two very large locker rooms. Right now, male and female, that really we don't necessarily need. And kind of just some forward thinking and how can we better design, like if you think about like, it's public showers, nobody uses like public showers anymore. So, our plan for now is the girls' locker room is closest to what is the main entrance. We're gonna leave that kind of alone, with the thought process of if we ever need a meeting room down on the first floor, we want some kind of multi-purpose space, we can gut that and use that. And then what's currently the male locker room, that is gonna be converted to, I'll get some pictures and show you, but it's open shared lockers. But then we're gonna have individual rooms, so to speak, that are changing rooms and shower rooms. So, you know, I mean, whomever can use any one of those kind of private rooms and or, we'll have a design like family room as well. So it'll be a little bit bigger. And then, you know, I don't know if you've had to have like, go to the hospital, I don't know, MRI or CT scan, now you have to go change, right? You go to the locker and there's already a key in it. You just put your stuff in, take the key, out you go. When you're done, go back. That's what our plan is for there as well. So there is no like, bring your own lock or you have to issue lock. It's all gonna be kind of built right in.
Reminds me for the lockers, did we just recycle the lockers or did we do something with them?
So
Yeah,
they're recycled, they're staged outside, right by the building that's gonna be tore down,
Oh, I see.
and then that'll be part of the steel recycling.
So the only question I had is, do we want to open up to the community if they wanted to have a locker? Are they individual or?
No, they're.
No, they're
that's-
usually like banks of 4 or 6
Yeah.
is how they
4 or
get,
6,
they usually get riveted together. And to be honest, when we took them up, we drive by the old Lane site, if you look on the west side of the building, one of the old science rooms, we actually pulled the window and that's how we pulled all of our demo material. So I'm guessing a lot of them probably got damaged when they came
I'm
out.
just trying to think.
So.
And wasn't, like anything that could kind of be recycled was factored into a subcontractor's bid?
For the building that's coming down, yes, that, what Shelley's referring to is they call it demo contractors, right? So the copper, the steel, anything that can be recycled that has value becomes their material. So that comes into their overall number, so. We did offer up, for facilities personnel, like Henry, come get any lock sets that you want, those types of things. That we did offer up early on, but like the school couldn't claim all the steel, or I know like for Justin from HVAC wanted all the R22 refrigerant just because he can use it at other schools, so.
And then the last piece of phase 2 will be, there's sort of calling it like the guest services, the welcome area, the office area, right? Because once we have a fitness center, you know, and even like now, I said, when there's programs there, there's gonna be staff working there. Our office team's been talking, right? If I'm gonna go there and I wanna buy a fitness center membership, we don't want people to have to go all the way down to 68 to get it, like we, you know, but we're gonna have to do some restructuring, reconfiguring of that main office area. So then also too, we have some security pieces in place like we do at the rec center. I don't know if you're aware, at the rec center, right, the main doors you walk in are always open, but if need be, our staff at the front desk has a fail-safe switch where they just hit the button and it locks the second set of double doors. Something that would be similar to that here.
I have an idea. Based off of social media content last week, you should get the Liberace activity center. If you haven't seen it, some guy claimed that we don't care about Liberace because we have nothing named for him.
That's a lie.
And when everyone said, there's this theater, he said, but that's the school district.
What part of the school
Auditorium.
district, right?
I
Yeah.
think-
All right. Yeah, I'm done.
So are we, are the board members gonna get issued cards then, ID cards that would get them access to
That,
that
those boardroom
space and the
spaces.
room extra?
Yep.
Or-
All right, any other questions for Shelley?
You're gonna get those dimensions.
Yeah, so the smaller on the southeast corner, that one was 28 by 20. Yep, actually go ahead one more. sorry, right here, this guy is approximately 28 by 28, this is 32 by 42, give or take a little bit.
You wanna stay up there? Just
Yeah,
see the
yeah, I'd be
pictures
happy
maybe?
to.
So we'll just, we gotta have like pictures, snapshots in time, like every other couple weeks or so, so I thought maybe Luke could talk a little bit about the development of the building before you guys take a tour.
So upper left, we shifted the West Hayes entrance, if you kind of recall. You kind of did this little S turn before you could align with the loading dock that was designed to be shifted so that when truck drivers come out, they're backing straight into the loading dock. So that's what I'm showing there. Lower left, that was when we started site concrete. We completely ripped off the exterior walls. I don't know if any of you recall or drove by, but I mean, basically exposed the steel structure, and then our temper tissue was sitting approximately right here, and then rebuilt the whole wall system with all the windows pulling in a lot of natural light. There's 2 layers of spray foam insulation, both on the exterior behind the metal panels, and then again on the interior. And then the L&L addition, that building was designed to go vertical. So here we're setting our steel. We haven't tore off the former roof, but we tied into the steel down below. And then once we put this roof on, then we tore that roof off, because that was a major challenge in this job. The server room actually sits right here. So keeping that watertight the whole time was very important. Bruce reminded us, he's like, if water gets in there and the servers go down,
Every day.
don't bother calling me. So, but yeah, so that was a major project challenge, but we did not have any issues. We're very fortunate that way. And then just kind of interior painting progress. We got ceiling grid growing in. The MEPs are above ceiling MEPs are in. So, light fixtures. I believe that's actually L&L addition. The kind of detailed ceramic tile on the wet walls in the bathrooms and at the drinking fountains. Here again, we got steel progress. I think it's kind of hard to see in this photo, but we're starting to get the steel decking on. This was a rain day, so this was kind of one of those worrisome days as we were building. This showing framing for the metal wall panels. And then we had, once our windows were framed out, we kind of just kept plywood in them until the window systems physically came out. Doors coming in, setting millwork. This is actually the room we're sitting in. That's that bank of millwork right there. Windows getting set. This is the roof on the addition, at least this, the roof decking's on. We got the parapet built, and then just getting ready for roofing insulation. New rooftop unit that's set actually on this building. It's basically right outside that storage room straight up. And then here, as we got the deck on for the upper addition, now we're demoing that old roof deck off and then preparing it for the concrete pour. Lower level men's restroom. Yes. Well, very good. Here we have the deck poured in the upper left, and then we put just visqueen plastic all around until we could start framing the walls. Staff workroom, that's kind of just on the other side of this area. We're getting finishes installed, carpets going in, carpet tile. Again, this is the same room. We got the LED strip light fixtures.
I think this is getting close to like.
Yeah, getting kind of.
February, Steve, right? Yeah, so
Yep.
you can see as we're getting closer, things are getting more finished.
Yeah. So yeah, we gave back this portion of the building shortly after the calendar year, and then we focused on the L&L addition. So a lot of the finishes going in, framing for the addition, clinic entrance getting that new window frame, putting window and entrance getting put in. Yeah, and then metal panel progress, vinyl wall covering, MEPs in the addition. MEPs, that's mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and then we got the equipment pads poured for the ice storage tank and the chiller. Toilet partition in the men's lower level bathroom, metal wall panels in the middle of winter, and then kind of we're closing up walls. This is the staff break room. More finishes with carpeting, painting. the addition getting taped and finished, and then another one, we installed a small skylight in the staff break room. Furniture, once your furniture is installed, kind of just showing a typical office. This is the addition, kind of as we were getting closed up, setting the windows. Yeah, more of the same. And then this is kind of just wrapping up the addition. We're getting painting in, we're getting ceilings in, we're starting to install the metal wall panels. Owner's appliances will arrive. This is the doors arriving for the addition. This is what was the conference room on the addition side, and then we're kind of wrapping up the metal panels on the addition. Flooring, painting. This lower level picture, this was a project requirement in the server room itself. If a fire would occur, we don't want to dump water on the servers because it would destroy the servers. So this is kind of a clean agent system. It actually, it like lowers, it could be a little bit off here, but it like lowers the oxygen level of the room, actually kind of killing the fire that way, so that if something would occur there, it kind of takes the fire out that way and does not dump a bunch of water on the servers. Window treatments going in the addition, showing a typical office, demoed the old chiller, which was in the lower level, and then final cleaning of the addition. Also part of the project was, if you kind of recall, those lower level windows, they kind of had this fiberglass panel. They were very sun faded. Those completely got replaced, and then we added new lights. It actually pulls a lot of natural light into that space now. Chiller with the ice storage tanks. We repurposed a room in the lower level. There used to be the We Energies transformers in there, but now we kind of call it a bonus room, and it turned into a storage room actually. So we abandoned the exterior door that We Energies previously had access to, blocked that shut, and then added a new interior room. And then more of those lower level windows kind of just get replaced. Here's progress with site works. Redid the stairs at the east entrance. Dumpster pad got poured. Light poles got set, and then asphalt paving. A lot of clay in this site. Of course, right when we opened it up, it started to pour. So we undercut a lot. Undercutting is taking the unsuitable soils out, and then you truck them off site and you bring traffic bond in. And how you test if you got to do that, you load a dump truck, and whatever it deflects, the testing agency will say it's a 1 foot undercut, it's a 2 foot undercut, it's a 2 foot undercut with GeoGrid, which basically looks like snow fence, and it helps bridge that gap. But just addressing the issues that were going on over here. So
that gets, I think it brings you kind of up to speed, but speaks to kind of the detail of the work and all the things that go into a complete building, and from curbs to MEPs to windows and all the, everything else in between. So.
Was it under budget?
yes, we did come in, and it added a lot of wish list items actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like those chillers, they have an ice storage option with them, and then they have a energy credit that the district will be able to help pay them back in like 2 years, I think is what they will pay themselves back on. So
Yeah, because the goal is we have peak and off peak, and the peak time the demand for electricity is a lot higher.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll run the chiller at night if we need to, but we'll make ice at night. And then during the day, we'll cool the building with the ice that's made at night. So we're not running the chiller, and so we're not using the same amount of electricity during the day then. So we use electricity at night when it's off peak.
Sure. And more site concrete that got replaced than originally. Like originally the dumpster pad wasn't going to be concrete. We replaced a lot of curb and gutter in the clinic lot that was just well beyond its useful life. So I mean, there's a lot of wish list items that were added to the project but still fit in the budget. Really the only outstanding item we're waiting on is the decorative gates. There's a gate that gets added here. Actually, all 3 entrances. Everyone but the clinic entrance. That one will remain wide open. Those are the pipes you're seeing on the ground. A City of West Dallas requirement is they no longer allow chain link fence in the district, so everything's decorative. And 2 of the 3 have been procured. We're just waiting on that last one. It'll be about a week for install.
So I know we're waiting on, the sign is.
Oh,
weeks out.
that's what I was gonna ask. When's
Yeah.
the sign going
Yeah,
up?
it's being manufactured right now. They have to
And
wait
where
on
will
it.
that be?
It's actually right out, you see that stake right here? In the ground, if you shows. There was a tree here, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was a joke internally, but like one day we came in and no one noticed, I'm like, okay, I'm about to tree that.
Well, it's so funny because I saw the pipe so clear, whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's probably where the sign's gonna go.
Yeah.
Like, I was all like, you just write stuff up, make it up.
See, we planned
Sounds
on
fancy.
putting the 3 gates in before we knew we were gonna come here. Because what was happening, especially during construction on West Lincoln, is people were using this as a raceway to go through,
Oh, yeah.
and it just wasn't safe.
For sure.
So then when we knew we were moving here, we just said, well, let's put that off until we get everything else done. And then we'll put that.
Any other questions, or are you guys ready to go see the whole building? Let's see.
Do it.
Okay, we're gonna.
So we are back from the tour. So any questions anyone had after the tour? Or anyone else?
Construction related questions?
It just looks like Jeff was saying, it looked just so nice from the outside, like how modernized it looks
Yeah.
immediately. I do look forward to it when we get signage though, because other than the yard signs we've had out there, I really want people to see how this building has turned out really beautifully and that we invested wisely in turning it home.
I was told 2 weeks from, well, it was 3 weeks last week, so 2 weeks from today, they'll start doing the mason foundation with the brick and then the sign will start getting assembled. So, about 2 weeks, you'll start to see it.
Good. Any other questions from anyone? If not, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moving second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much.